My marriage felt like a fortress built on a decade of trust, laughter, and shared dreams. Sarah and I were that couple, the one everyone pointed to as relationship goals. We had a beautiful home, 2 amazing kids, and a life that seemed perfect from the outside. Little did I know, the foundations of our fortress were rotting from the inside, and a storm was coming that would tear it all down. It started subtly. Late nights at the office became more frequent. Her phone, once left casually on the counter, was now glued to her hand, screen down. When I'd ask who she was texting, she'd wave it off with a casual, "Oh, just work stuff." I trusted her. Why wouldn't I? She was my Sarah, my partner in everything. The idea of her being unfaithful was as foreign to me as flying to the moon. The first real crack appeared on our anniversary. I had planned a surprise dinner at the restaurant where we had our first date, spent all day getting things ready, feeling that familiar flutter of excitement I'd felt 10 years ago. But that evening she called. "Honey, I'm so sorry," she said, her voice sounding strained. "Something huge just came up at work. I'm going to be stuck here for hours. We'll have to postpone." Disappointment hit me hard, but I understood. Or at least I tried to. "No problem, sweetheart," I said. "We'll celebrate this weekend." I ate a lonely dinner, trying to shake off a strange feeling of unease. A few days later, a friend of mine, Mark, called me. He sounded hesitant. "Hey man," he started. "I don't want to stir up trouble, but I saw something a few nights ago. On your anniversary." My heart started to pound. He told me he'd seen Sarah's car parked outside a fancy downtown hotel, not her office building. He'd even waited for a bit and saw her walk out, laughing with some guy. He described him as tall, well-dressed, someone I didn't recognize. The world tilted on its axis. It couldn't be true. Mark must have been mistaken. But the seed of doubt was planted, and it started to grow, its roots wrapping around my heart. That night, I couldn't sleep. The image Mark painted played on a loop in my mind. The work emergency, the strained voice, the screen-down phone, it all started to click into a horrifying picture. I felt a cold dread creep over me. Had to know the truth, no matter how much it hurt. For the next few weeks, I became a detective in my own life. It felt disgusting, invasive, but I needed proof. I checked our shared phone records and found a number she called and texted constantly, especially late at night. The number wasn't saved under any name. Then, I looked at our credit card statements. There were charges for dinners at expensive restaurants I'd never been to. Then even a charge for a hotel the same hotel Mark had mentioned. The dates lined up perfectly with her late nights at work. The evidence was piling up, a mountain of deceit that was crushing me. But the final, soul-destroying blow came from our shared computer. One evening, she left her email open. I know I shouldn't have looked, but I was past the point of caring about privacy. I just needed to see it for myself. And there it was. It's an entire thread of emails between her and a man named Alex. They were filled with love notes, inside jokes, and plans for their future. They talked about their stolen moments and how they couldn't wait to be together permanently. They even mocked me. One email from him read, "He really has no idea, does he? Poor guy." Her reply, "He's too trusting." It's almost sad. Reading those words was like being physically struck. I couldn't breathe. The woman I loved, the mother of my children, saw me as a pathetic obstacle. Our entire life together, our vows, our family, it was all a lie, a backdrop for her secret affair. The fortress hadn't just been breached, it was a hollow shell, a stage for her performance. The love I felt turned to ice in my veins, replaced by a burning, white-hot rage. But I knew I couldn't just explode. An emotional outburst was what she'd expect. No, she deserved something more calculated. She had played a long game of deception, and now it was my turn to play. My plan for revenge started to form, piece by piece. It wouldn't be about shouting matches or public humiliation. It would be quiet, precise, and devastating. I knew their affair was built on the thrill of secrecy and the financial security I provided. So I decided to take away both. First, I contacted a top divorce lawyer. I laid out all the evidence I had collected, the phone records, the credit card statements, the printed emails. The lawyer assured me I had a very strong case, especially regarding custody and asset division, given her clear infidelity and deception. This was the most important step. I had to protect my children and my future. Next, I started quietly moving my personal finances. I opened a new bank account and began transferring my salary there. I meticulously documented all our shared assets, preparing for the financial separation. I was essentially building a lifeboat while she was still dancing on the deck of our sinking ship, completely oblivious. The real heart of my plan, however, was aimed at Alex. A little digging online revealed he was a partner at a rival firm to Sarah's, with a reputation to protect. He was married too, with a family. He was playing a dangerous game, and he was about to lose. The day I chose to execute my plan was the day of her company's annual awards gala, a huge event where she was set to receive a major promotion. She was so excited, talking for weeks about her speech and what she would wear. It was her moment in the spotlight, perfect. An hour before they were due to leave for the gala, sent a single, carefully curated package via messenger to Alex's wife. Inside was a collection of the most damning evidence, printouts of the romantic emails, copies of hotel receipts, and a few photos ID managed to get of them together on one of their lunches. I included a simple, anonymous note. You deserve to know the truth about your husband. Simultaneously. I sent a similar package to the head of HR and the CEO of Sarah's company. This one was more professional. It highlighted the fact that she was having an affair with a partner from a major competitor, framing it as a serious conflict of interest and a potential risk for corporate espionage. I included emails where they casually discussed their work, blurring the lines between personal and professional. Then I waited. Sarah came downstairs, looking stunning in her evening gown, beaming with anticipation. "How do I look?" she asked, twirling. I just smiled and said, "Incredible." The irony was thick enough to cut with a knife. She was about to leave, her phone rang. It was her boss. The tone of the conversation shifted dramatically. Her face went from radiant to pale white. I could hear fragments of the call: conflict of interest, unacceptable behavior, investigation. He told her not to come to the gala. Her promotion was on hold. As she hung up, looking utterly bewildered, her phone buzzed again. This time it was Alex, his voice a panicked whisper. His wife had left taking the kids, and his career was imploding. The news of the affair was spreading through his firm like wildfire. That's when she looked at me. The confusion on her face slowly morphed into dawning horror as she saw the cold, calm expression in my eyes. The penny finally dropped. "You," she whispered, her voice trembling. "You did this." I didn't yell. I didn't scream. I just stood there and let the silence speak for itself. "It was never sad that I was trusting Sarah," I said, my voice steady. "It was sad that you were so untrustworthy." I told her I'd filed for divorce. Told her I had evidence of everything. I told her that our life as we knew it was over. The fake love, the lies, the deceit, it all ended right there, in that moment. She had built her fantasy on the ruins of our reality, and I had simply kicked out the last remaining pillar. Watching her world crumble wasn't about joy. It was about justice. It was about taking back the power she had stolen from me. It was about closing a painful chapter and ensuring that my children and I could start a new one, built on honesty and real, genuine love. My revenge wasn't loud, but it was final. It ended her fake love forever, and it set me free. Thanks for watching my story. If you've been through something similar, remember that your worth isn't defined by someone else's betrayal. Focus on your healing and your future. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more content. See you next time.